Hello, my name is Emma Meyer. I'm a freshman majoring in Spanish education. I'm 19 years old and I am the second oldest out of 5 siblings. Question number 2 asks, define development in your own words. Laura E. Burks describes development as a pattern of change that starts from conception and extends through every stage of life. In my own words, this means that development is an ongoing process of learning and adapting to the change around us. This includes biological and environmental factors, all which will help determine who we will become and how we will continue to change. Question number 3 says, explain the ideas related to continuous versus discontinuous, nature versus nurture, one path or multiple. What is your opinion about each idea and how they are related to development and human behavior? The question of whether development is continuous or discontinuous asks how humans change over the course of their life. The theory of continuous development states that babies are born with the same overall skill set they have as adults and interact with the world in a similar way. However, these skills develop gradually over time with no definite stages of development. Children simply lack the motor skills or information necessary to carry out functions the same way adults do. The skill set we are born with is built on over time and is a smooth and progressive process. The theory of discontinuous development states that humans go through distinct stages of development throughout their lives. Each stage is marked by specific and rapid changes in a person's ability to function. This theory says that children go through a series of developmental steps, much like climbing a staircase, with each step leading to more complicated ways of understanding. This means a child's way of functioning is fundamentally different than that of an adult and is not directly built off of the same abilities. I believe that aspects of both continuous and discontinuous development represent a child's way of growing and changing into an adult. Neither theory makes complete logical sense on its own, but together they explain the complexity of the human mind. While certain foundational skills and abilities may develop over time, there are definitely some significant, distinct changes that occur at specific stages of life. Nature versus nurture questions what the major influence of a person's life will be. Those who believe that nature is the main contributing factor to someone's personality and characteristics believe that we are predestined to those traits based on the genes passed down to us from our parents, and that the traits we inherit will ultimately be the main influence on our development. The idea that nurture plays a larger role in a person's development says that a person is instead influenced by the environment they grow up in. Our individual experiences and the society we are raised in will determine our characteristics rather than our genetics. In my opinion, both nature and nurture play important roles in development, but nurture will be the final deciding factor. Genetic traits may provide a foundation for a person's development, such as mental or physical illnesses and other predestined traits, but ultimately a person's environmental factors and experiences will mold who they are. Lastly, the question of one path or multiple paths asks if humans follow the same course of development, or if there are many ways that people could develop. The idea of one path of development says that everyone, everywhere, goes through the same stages of development, regardless of the environment they grow up in. The multiple paths theory states that people with different social settings in different communities all around the world will develop differently based on their own society's culture. I believe that the idea of multiple paths of development is more accurate. It is only logical that people who grow up in entirely different cultures and value entirely different things will develop in entirely different ways. One may grow in areas that the other does not, and vice versa. Question number 4 asks, what does this mean for you as a person and as a future educator? How will you use this understanding when working and interacting with children and adults in the future? As a future educator, understanding that development can be both continuous and discontinuous will help me to understand that students are at different stages of life than me and other adults and should be treated as such. And that I must understand that individual students may have different stages of development and I should accommodate to their needs. Recognizing that development is influenced by both nature and nurture will help me realize the importance of creating a supportive and nurturing learning environment to understand that every student's needs will vary based on their inherent abilities. Lastly, understanding that every student is on their own path of development will allow me to individualize my teaching style to fit the needs of my students and to remember to be flexible with students whose course of development may vary more than others. Overall, these approaches to teaching will allow me to create a supportive and inclusive atmosphere for each of my students. Thank you.